celebration of Black talent and Black speedrunning here on our Juneteenth edition of our speedrunning celebration. It's been so much fun watching, especially GG to Bobby. I loved watching that. That was so much fun. And we're going to continue with some more incredible speedrunning. And if you don't know what Juneteenth is, I want to share a little bit about it. It's a federal holiday, and it celebrates the freedom of Black people in the U.S. And people consider it, the Black Independence Day in the United States, also Emancipation Day, incredibly important holiday that just became a federal holiday here in the United States. So we're using this time to celebrate Black speedrunners and Black talent here on Twitch, on twitch.tv/gamesdonequick. And also, there's another cool event that's coming up. Frame Fatales is Game Done Quick's all-women online speedrunning community. The upcoming event, Flame Fatales, will run through August 13th through the 20th. So volunteer applications are now open, and they'll be open through June 17th. So go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info.
Right,
and if you're not already following the channel, please make sure to follow. And don't forget to tune in. We're going to be live tomorrow with more amazing Juneteenth speedrunning. So if you love what you see today, the celebration continues tomorrow. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So let's get the next run started. I am so excited to share this next speedrunner with you all today. It's going to be the Adventures of Batman and Robin, any percent solo with Cypherin. Oh my God, Cypherin is so talented, amazing. I've known Cypherin for a while, big in the retro community, super amazing speedrunner, and I can't wait for you all to check out this run today. So Cypherin, take it away.
Thank you, Ash. Thank you. As always, very kind. So many people say so many kind things. Thank you so much. Hello out there. Good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you hail from. I'm Cypherin, coming at you live again here. Very grateful as always to have the opportunity to not only just be taking part in these GDQ events, but just even being here amongst all these amazing runners, this talent, like the Swarm who kicked off Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and I was honored to be on his couch. I didn't say too much, but I don't know the run. But I enjoyed meeting the Swarm at GDQ. He's an awesome person. Bobby being a northern star for a lot of us when it comes to speedrunning and just streaming in general. Just following Bobby. Why they schedule me after Bobby? I have no idea, but I guess what I'm here for is to again pay it forward, show you all like, hey, this is a game that I love from my childhood, and you too can join us in this fantastic event. These fantastic events that we do, pleasantly twisted, also be another guiding light and just pushing us forward, helping us reach heights that some of us, we can see it, but then maybe even heights that we can't even imagine right now. So just, continuing to just moving the needle up, and up. And I'm so happy to be here for that. So yeah, let me not get too much out of it. They're like, Cypherin, you just did all your run just speaking. With me on commentary, my commentators, introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Topaz, and I sometimes speedrun this game, and a lover of mac and cheese.
Yeah, his mac and cheese pictures, if you all can see it, they're fantastic. But sometimes, runner, this is the world record holder. He's amazing and a good friend of mine. And my next commentator, please introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Big B. Hold on, one second.
Oh wait, what's going on?
I'm bigbeaz. I'm here to do this commentary, and I'm going to help out with everything here with Cypherin. So it's good to see you all. Cypherin's going to make me proud and kick lots of butt.
All right. Well, you all just met bigbeaz. I hope you look forward to hearing more of bigbeaz here. But yeah, let me go ahead and reset this one more time, and then timer will start basically when I've picked my character, Batman. You can play as Batman or Robin, and when I pick Batman, that's when the timer starts here. So we're hitting start. We gotta get through one menu here, and then go through one more screen in 3, 2, 1, go.
So here we have level 1, Happy Birthday to Me. This has to do with the Joker, so all the enemies are clown related in some facet. What you saw Cypherin pick up just a moment ago was a weapon token. This game has 3 types of weapons in this game. There is red, there is blue, and there is green. Red are batarangs, blue are ninja stars or ninja shurikens, and green is the bat bola. The game will automatically start you off with the red power-up. From each weapon's base starting point, all the weapons will have 6 upgrades to them. The final form for each are 3 large batarangs in a spread formation, 3 ninja stars in a spread formation, and a larger bat bola. In terms of power, the batarangs technically do the most damage if all the batarangs hit the enemy. If not, green is the most consistent form of damage. And if you're starting off learning this game, or if you're just trying to beat this game casually for the first time, the green weapon is definitely the way to go. Blue is... well, there's no sugarcoating it. Blue is just terrible. Boo that blue,
Boo that blue.
as we like to say here, definitely. The only thing blue has going for it is that it has the fastest charge up time, which is dictated by that meter in the top corner of the screen. Now, when you don't attack, that bar will fill up with whatever color weapon you are currently using. Once full, the very first projectile you throw will have a light surrounding on it and will have a piercing effect on enemies that do not have any armor. And that's kind of where the red power-up really shines, where with the green and the blue power-up, the charge shots will do double the damage, whereas the red power-up will do triple the damage. Very nice for clearing out a lot of enemies on the screen, which we will be utilizing in the 2nd and 3rd level. So coming up, we have the very first boss of the game, this clown tank right here. There are 3 phases to it. The very first phase, we can only attack the treads on the bottom of the screen. Idea here is we want to get as much hits as we can as it gets towards us. When it corners us in the corner of the screen, then we just hop on over and just unload whatever we can until that first phase is done. Now, if we have enough health, we can tank, pun intended, the hits from the 2nd and the final phase here. And in this final phase here, we have Harley Quinn. She's going to pop up, throw bombs at us, go back down, hop to the left, wash, rinse, and repeat. And right here is kind of the big difference between Batman and Robin. At the end of nearly every stage, Batman and Robin will do some kind of victory pose. Batman will always do his on the left side of the screen, Robin will do his on the right. Wherever you know where one stands, you can just basically mirror it, and that's where the other one will stand. So coming up, we have this checkpoint here. If we meet a certain criteria, we will be rewarded. If we can destroy all these toy copters before they stray from their flight path or they go off screen, then we get all these items dropping for us, and all of these items will be the same for each and every playthrough. So the different types of items in this game, we already talked about the weapon token. We have the floating ball with the light swirling around it. That is the supercharger. What that will do is it will rapidly fill that bar in the top corner of the screen. We have the floating skull, which acts as a smart bomb. It destroys all the enemies currently registered on screen. We have the small hearts, which will replenish 1 hit point of our health. We have the large heart, which will replenish 50% of our health. And then we have, I guess the best way to describe it is just a floating piece of candy corn with Batman's head on it. Yeah, that thing right there.
Yep.
Yeah, right on time. So that acts as the 1-up in the game, and there are 7 of those total. So also on the screen in the top corner there, we talked about the charge up bar. Above it, we have our score, which to my knowledge does nothing in this game. To the far left, we have a picture of the character we're playing as. Since we're Batman, Batman's picture's up there. If we were Robin, Robin's picture would be up there. Right next to our picture is our health. We have 16, let's just call them petals. They surround a blue heart, which also acts as another hit point, and in that blue heart is a number which dictates how many lives we have. Now, this game really punishes you hard if you lose a life. Depending on what level weapon progression you are at, you will lose to 2 stages or 3 stages of your weapon level. So for instance, we're at max level right now. If we were to lose a life, we would be dropped 3 stages of our weapon, and then if we were to lose another life before picking up another weapon token, we would lose another 2 stages. And in the wrong situation or in the wrong place, that can be detrimental. So here at the final confrontation with Harley Quinn, if we get too close to her, she'll move over to the other side. But this Vector Man looking crane here has rubber banding properties to it too. If we know what things have those properties, we can manipulate it to our advantage. And that is Harley Quinn done. Nicely done, Cyph.
Thank you.
So here we are in the final stage of level 1, traversing through the streets of Gotham City. Now, here we're moving along these truck beds, and in between each of these trucks are these pitfalls. Now, if you fall into these pitfalls, then the game will shoot you high up into the air. It will take away 1/8 of your health, and you won't be able to do any kind of double jumping or throwing your projectiles until you land on the ground. And the different types of jumps in this game, we have this standard single jump, we have your standard double jump, and then we have the dive kick, where if you hold down left or down right while jumping, then you will do the dive kick. Jumping also has a very unique characteristic in this game. When throwing your projectile, Batman and Robin will have 3 different types of animations: a beginning, a middle, and an end. Jumping, however, cancels out that beginning and ending animations, to where if we time our jumps properly, we can actually throw more of our weapon than intended. So my rule of thumb is whenever I see a projectile come out from Batman and Robin, that's when I jump. Takes a little getting used to, but nothing too hard to master, really. So coming up, we have the final boss fight of level 1 against Joker. He's going to be riding in this hot air balloon, and the basket he's riding in, the hitbox for it isn't as big as you think it is, especially on the bottom of the basket. So what we're going to do is, when we get to the place right here, we're going to plop ourselves right in the middle, squat on down, fire our weapon up just to get some early hits on Joker. And if we position ourselves correctly, we won't be hit at all in this first section right here. Just as long as we follow him with our weapon, we should be golden. And if we have enough health, we can just tank these hits, continue the onslaught, and this fight should be easy squeezy, lemon peasy.
You mentioned the Joker because I have something that I want to bring to the entire run today.
Oh.
It's what I like to call bigbeaz's Bat Facts. So many of you may not know I deal with the Joker a lot. So a lot of you may not know that Tim Curry was originally cast to voice the Joker, but producers felt he didn't have the right voice. So then Mark Hamill was cast, and is the iconic voice you know and love.
And
Thank you.
Love Mark Hamill. And from the original series all the way through to the various movies, other series, Justice League Unlimited. And
even
also,
the
really quick, rest in peace to Kevin Conroy. Make mention there as well. Go ahead, Topaz.
Yeah, definitely the best Batman in my opinion is Kevin Conroy there. But yeah, with Mark Hamill too, but let's not forget about the Arkham games. I believe he voices the Joker in those as well. Mm-hmm. But at this stage, we are in level 2, a 2-sided story, or as I like to call it, auto-scroller the level. Well, I guess that's not true by auto-scroller's definition, but you'll see what I mean. So we only have 2 different types of enemies in this game. We have these henchmen sliding in from the sides. At the beginning of this stage, it's pretty random where they're sliding in from, but after that, like right now, they pretty much alternate sides. We have these henchmen in green. What they like to do is they jump in from the middle, do a little jig, jump on down to your level, and then lay haymakers on you. They are the main source of health in this stage, so if you find yourself running low on health, have them jump down to your level and then just pelt them with your projectiles. If not, just snipe them from afar. Oh, also, we just saw our first instance of Two-Face. He likes to throw dynamite at us. Just go to where the dynamite isn't and you'll be golden. Dynamite kind of hurts, so we want to avoid that as much as possible.
Oh, it hurts a lot. Yeah, the dynamite is not fun.
Yeah, so some of the patterns are very easy to dodge, but a couple of them are a little tricky here and there. But we have a little bit of time before we get to the end of the stage, so Bat Bees, I would love to hear some more Bat Facts if you got some.
I mean, I don't want to disappoint, so another fact, since earlier we thought Harley Quinn, it is known that Harley Quinn was created for the show and had never been featured in any other Batman tales before, but is now an iconic part of the entire story.
Give us a few more here, Bees. Or Bat Bees. Sorry.
Okay,
I said Bat Bees. I said Bat
Did you
Bees.
just give away your secret identity?
No. I said Bat Bees. Delete the pod.
Another wonderful piece of information is that the actual the pilot, the 2-minute short animation that was submitted as a pilot from that the creators Tim and Radomski created and actually voiced themselves became the intro for the show.
Nice. So coming up, we're in the final stretch of this first stage of level 2, and the mini boss of this stage is this large blimp, and the blimp will have 4 turrets on it. And the fight, it just plays out the same each and every time you play through this game. So knowing this, our strategy, we're going to camp out on the far right side of the screen. When we hear the music change, we're going to fire our weapon to the top left corner of the screen, do our jumps, hopefully fire more of our weapon than intended, and everything goes well, like right there, we can destroy that far right turret before it even fires at us. Every time we destroy a turret, we're just going to inch our way left a little bit just to make sure we don't miss any shots or whatnot. Here, Cypherin's making quick work of this boss right here. And whatever's left of this blimp, we can just unload, but here's Two-Face. He's going to try to stop us by throwing, more dynamite. Again, just go to where the dynamite isn't, and we should be golden. Nice fight. Hey, Babbies, why don't you hit us one more quick Bat Fact before we get on to the very next stage?
Of course, no problem. Kevin Conroy, the actual voice of Batman, rest in peace, originally only auditioned to read for the Joker, Harvey Bullock, and Commissioner Gordon. But after they saw what he could do, they asked him to read for Batman, and the rest is history.
Very nice. So, my question for everyone in chat, do you guys like shmup stages? Do you like really long shmup stages? And I mean at least 13 minutes, but on average over 15 minutes in length? Well, have I got the shmup stage for you. Here we are flying above Gotham City. You can only imagine what the collateral damage is going to be like at the end of this. So there are 4 different sections in this shmup stage. You have the pre-clouds portion, you have the clouds portion, you have the mini boss gauntlet, and you have the final fight with Two-Face. Now, we can only fire our projectiles in front of us. Beforehand, we could fire in all 8 directions, but here, we can only fire in front of us. And we're doing so by flying around in our Bat Glider. We can move all over the screen here. Now, the hitbox for the Bat Glider isn't the entire sprite. It's only just that middle portion where Batman and Robin are lying. Another thing to take note in this level is our weapon tokens. Beforehand, the weapon tokens would be cycling through all the different weapons, red, blue, green, in that order. Each color that, the color that it starts on is always random, and it's about 1.5 seconds for each color before it moves to the next one. In this stage, you can kind of just see that at the bottom of the screen there was an example of a static weapon token, meaning it won't change to the other colors. And in this long shmup stage, there are several instances where the game will specifically give you a red weapon token. And combining that with the supercharger shot makes defeating all these enemies such a breeze. It's so nice. So all the different enemies in the stage, we have these gray copters, we have the magenta copters, we have the orange planes that can drop a supercharger or a rotating weapon token. We have this green plane here that's a little shy. He won't actually shoot his shot if you actually get too close to it here. And then we have some rockets. Cypherin is going to be coming up to a very dangerous section where large rockets are going to be coming in from the right side of the screen. If they live long enough, they're going to explode and create 4 mini rockets per large rocket. Now, the mini rockets will do an eighth of your health, whereas the large rockets will do a quarter of your health. We're doing a little bit of a risky strat here where if the large rockets explode, kind of like what you just saw there, and if we position ourselves correctly when they explode, they will not produce any of the mini rockets. But as you see right now, that's a little bit of a risky strat with the amount of damage we can actually accumulate there. So coming up, we have the first mini boss of this stage. We have this helicopter that will have 3 turrets on it. Now, the top and the bottom turrets will do the same thing. They'll alternate firing a shot at you, and then we have the turret in the middle that will just fire rockets. Now, every time you defeat a turret, the blast from the top and the bottom turrets will increase in length, making it more frustrating to hit. So the idea for this fight is to destroy the top and the bottom turrets somewhere during this middle turret phase, and then just unload what we have left on that middle turret. And then for this last section here, this copter, he has no more turrets left. So what he'll eventually do is try to go after us and ram into us, but we can kind of stun lock him in that top corner there. And well, that's the end of the first section.
I'm glad that happened.
Nice. That is why we refer to the Cypherin as Clutch City around here, baby. So, as I mentioned before, this really isn't an auto-scroller per se. With these waves, like with auto-scrollers, I believe no matter how fast or how slow you defeat the enemies will always appear at a set time every time. And that isn't the fact with most of the waves here. There are some waves that are like that, but as to what waves they are, I am not sure. So my rule of thumb is just destroy any wave as fast as possible. And that's kind of where memorizing really comes into play in this game, especially for this section here. You'll realize in this portion, a lot of the waves of the enemies will just repeat itself over and over again. So the quicker you memorize where the enemies are coming out from, the better position you will be in progressing through this game. But for right now, we have plenty of time to kill before the mini boss gauntlet. So bigbeaz, I would love to hear several bat packs if you could.
I'm sorry, I was beating up a goon. I got some more stuff. The original Space Ghost from the 60s provided inspiration for this series. Another wonderful thing about the series is that Tim Burton's dark aesthetic with the Batman series resonated with audiences and was the influence behind the show. Let me think. There's lots of facts I know. There's another one that comes to mind right now. Bruce Timm, the creator, hated the Terrible Trio episode the most out of all the episodes. He wouldn't give an answer why, he just really hated it. Another one is, a lot of shows typically record their lines in separate rooms at different times with their actors, but the cast for the animated series would regularly record together in the same room at the same time. It's great. It just makes everything a lot easier. Just lets everybody rip off one another, and it's fantastic. Something that people may not know is the show had various famous voice actor cameos, such as Ron Perlman, Heather Locklear, and John Rhys-Davies. But it also included U.S. Senator Patrick Leahy, the former senator of Vermont.
Oh, man.
Do you know him? Where are they? Disagree. I'll find him. Even though Michael Keaton gets the credit for first using the distinct voices for the different sides of Batman, Kevin Conroy created the iconic dichotomy between Bruce Wayne and Batman by making them sound like two completely different people. He was the first to start it. How much time do I have? More facts? I got more facts. You need more facts?
Yes.
Oh, we need
Yes.
plenty of facts, good
No, I
sir.
have more facts. Okay. So on top of that, Mr. Freeze was originally just a dude in a helmet with a freezing ray. However, Taz gave Freeze a tragic backstory where he created an experiment to save his dying wife, and it went wrong, terribly wrong, and it left him unable to survive in temperatures above freezing. It's crazy. It's amazing. It was brought on. Now, if any of you like the looks of this show, there's something very amazing behind that I learned recently. Just beating up some goons around Gotham. The shadowy Art Deco style of the show that was praised so much was actually due to a clever trick by the animators where they drew the backgrounds on black paper rather than industry standard white paper, which helped create the gloomy and unsettling feeling that seemed to haunt the crime-ridden Gotham City that I love to protect, that needs me, and I need it. How many more do you need?
Oh,
Are we almost there?
Not yet. This stage is pretty long. We got a few more minutes.
No. Hold on, wait 1 second. I have to. Stay tied up. You know what's good for you? Just stay tied up. I'm sorry. He's trying to escape. A fun fact about the show is that it was just an iconic, wonderful, amazing show. So much so that it went on to win the 1993 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Animated Program for the episode Robin's Reckoning, Part 1.
Oh, that was a great episode too.
Part 1. It was amazing. I loved it. I just felt like I really brought my A game in that episode. You know, I really did. I brought it. You know, Robin was great, but I really brought it. The series also won a string of Daytime Emmy Awards, including one for Outstanding Writing in an Animated Program, one for Music Direction and Composition, and another for Outstanding Sound Editing. It was just overall a phenomenal show. That's just, amazing. I will give another fact. This one isn't as amazing. It starts the downfall of the show, in my opinion, because it mainly focused on me until they brought Robin in. The series success caused execs to want more episodes, more high-rating episodes, which led to them demanding Robin be in every episode due to their belief that it would cause more kids to watch, which I don't know. People love me. Kids love Batman. I don't understand why they needed to bring Robin in, but they needed to, and they did, which caused the show to be renamed The Adventures of Batman and Robin, as you saw in the game, instead of the animated series, as well as caused changes to the show's look, storylines, everything, because everybody had to have Robin in it. Wasn't just good enough to have Batman. I was there. I did everything. But they had to have Robin in all the episodes too. But it's fine. I'm not salty.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know about that. You didn't need to share that if you wanted to,
It's
Batbeaz.
a touchy topic. But I will for the sake of this run, for Cypherin, and for the audience, I will peel open that emotional wound and share it with everyone.
And we
Bless you.
appreciate that. We appreciate that, Batbeaz.
Bless you, Batbeaz. Bless you.
I'm not the commentator that you want, but I'm the commentator you need.
Yes.
So here we are in the mini boss gauntlet of the stage here. I hope you guys like sirens because that's what you're going to be hearing for the next few minutes. So we already fought one of the mini bosses here, but you can see there's a whole slew of turrets all around us. Now, not all of the turrets, but some of these turrets will have items in it, and they will be the same each and every time. So if you're low on health, just memorize where some of these turrets are, and you'll be golden. So here we're coming up on the second of 3 mini bosses, which I personally have dubbed the SpaghettiOs turrets. And I don't care what anyone says, SpaghettiOs with meatballs are the goated SpaghettiOs. Don't at me on that. So each of the first 2 SpaghettiOs turrets will have these mini rocket launcher turrets with them, and the last one will have 4 of them. And each time you destroy those rocket turrets or the SpaghettiOs turret itself will have a plethora of hearts. So if you find yourself getting really low on them, try destroying one of them early before destroying the big one in the center here. Now this final one has 1 of 4 phases it can start off with, and then after that it's pretty random which one it does after that. Unfortunately here we have the worst one of all the 4, but Cypherin's really good at this game, so as you saw right there, he just destroyed one of the turrets. Make sure he's topped off with health. The dangerous portion about this last one is how close the screen puts you up against the SpaghettiOs turret. Sometimes I'll see people just make complete circles and just getting damage in as they make their rounds around, but here, we're going to just do what we can, and that is the mini-boss gauntlet done. GG, Cypherin.
Thank you, thank you.
And depending on what phase these turrets are in, these turrets that remain can open up, and you might be able to top off your health then, but so unfortunately we were unlucky here.
Yeah, they were being jerks.
Yeah, so coming up is the final boss fight against Two-Face? Question mark? So here he is, he's riding around in this helicopter. At the first part of it, he likes to try to ram into us while keeping a spotlight on us. Now, he's riding in some kind of helicopter that's very reminiscent of what in the episodes in the animated series, but I believe that episode, and correct me if I'm wrong, it features the penguin, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, that one, I don't know why it looks like this. I believe the Super Nintendo Adventures of Batman and Robin game has that specific copter in it, and it just looks eerily similar. But with this fight, each new searchlight, it will do some kind of new blast, but Cypherin made just quick work of it. That's the power of the red battering right there. So here we are in the hardest level in the game. This is tea time. So what you see right now are the main enemies of this stage are these Tweedledee dolls. They like to hop and jump around all over the place. Now, normally when there's no light flashing around them, they won't damage you, so it's fine. You can pass through them, it's okay. But when they start to flash a color, then they become electrified. They, I believe, do 1/8 of your health, but the most important thing is they will do a lot of knockback. Now, in this particular stage, the knockback isn't that important, but when we get to Wonderland, you'll see why. So up above, in the rafters, we have these Cheshire Cats. If we aren't in a checkpoint like we are right now, if we get close to them, the body will flip upside down, dropping its head. And the head, if you're close to it, will explode and cause a lot of damage and a lot of knockback. The body, you can destroy it too, and if you're close to it when you destroy it, will do a lot of damage and a lot of knockback as well. The items in the game, though, are inside of those bodies. But unfortunately, the bodies are invulnerable to damage until they actually drop their head, not making the most ideal way of picking up items here. In this transition phase, we see a white rabbit, to where if you get close to them, they'll start to flash red, and then if they explode, will do a lot of damage and a lot of knockback. So these dolls, a couple of them have formed circles there. They are the main source of health. If you destroy one circle, it will produce 2 hearts for you. At this checkpoint, the dolls have come together to form stacks of dolls. And in this checkpoint, there are 8 of them total. The 6th, 7th, and 8th stacks are all the same. The 6th stack will have a medium height to it and can come from the left or the right side. The 7th stack will have a short stack to it and can come from the left or the right side. And then the last stack will have a rather tall length to it, but will always come from the right side. I believe that one's the 6th one, Cypherin.
Okay.
Yep, that's the 7th one. And then this one should be the final one right here. Yep.
My math is terrible, but Topaz keeps me on track there.
I got you. Math was one of my 3 minors, so I got you, boss. I got you.
Thank you.
So here is the final checkpoint. It's only just these two really large bendy stacks. We just destroy and make sure we're on the left side of the screen so we can go to the next boss fight. And this is probably the most unique boss fight in the game. As the curtain rises, we expose the Cheshire Cat. Now the hat in the middle there is bobbing up and down, and then we have its paws in the top left and top right corner of the screen. Now the first part of this fight starts out the same. One of the paws will slam down on the screen, producing a row of lights up at the top that will fall down, and then it'll mirror it for the other paw. Now, this portion right here, it will alternate slamming its paws on the ground, producing a random array of light fixtures. And the light fixtures, if you get hit by them, will do 1/8 of your health. So, in this fight right here, the thing we can only attack is its nose. So yes, if the way to win this fight is booping the cat's snoot. And the one thing about this is that it actually takes double damage from physical attacks. So your standing physical attacks will do 64 points of damage, whereas your jump kick physical damage will do 32 points of damage, but will hit 2 to 3 times. And if this fight were to prolong, if it were to go on long enough, we'll also see laser eyes, but Cypherin made quick work of it. Made quick work of this boss fight. Now, as the curtain rose there, the head fell down and fell forward. If you are in the vicinity of that head as it falls forward, it will do a lot of damage to you. I don't remember specifically how much damage. I think it's at least a quarter of your health, maybe even a third of your health. And losing a life at the beginning here is detrimental because here we have the hardest stage in the game. Welcome to Wonderland. So here we can traverse over these mushrooms. Some are big, some are really tiny. And all around us we have these pitfalls that are reminiscent of the very final stage of level 1. So these pitfalls combined with these plants right here are the bane of anyone's existence in this stage. Again, with falling into the pitfalls, it'll shoot you up and take 1/8 of your health, whereas those plants right there, the blast they fire you, it's not good. There's a point in this stage, which I personally have dubbed Death Row, where you have a lot of those plants and you have to traverse over these plants with these small mushrooms here. And the blast from those flowers will do a lot of damage and will do a lot of hit stuns. So if you get smacked by those lasers, it can like ping pong you around and doing so much damage, and you will lose more than likely at least one life, but multiple lives if you're not careful enough. Although I will say, this is probably the first of 2 stages where it's okay to lose a life and you can get a decent time with this game. Ideally, you'd want to lose that life either during the mini boss of this stage or close enough to that boss fight, because in the very next stage, we'll have plenty of time, we'll have plenty of opportunities to actually build our weapon back up to max. So coming up is that one section with all those plants here. BatBeaz, if you can give us one bat fact, I would be definitely happy to hear that.
I would be happy. Now this is something that a lot of people don't know, and it was never brought to light. But there was, in works, an amazing idea for an episode where Catwoman and Black Canary would team up. And it was amazing. It was going to be great. It was really going to show their dynamic and their strengths. But when it was brought in front of Fox, they demanded to know why Robin wasn't in it, because Robin had to be in every episode. I was upset because they didn't ask why Batman wasn't really in it. But that's fine. It's okay. Everybody wants to focus on Robin. I don't care. I'm over it. But
Okay, I don't mean to interrupt you, BatBeaz, but
I'm sorry I go on tangents. It's all right.
It's all right. But if anyone is prone to flashing lights, please look away from the screen right now. I'll be sure to tell you when you can look back. But before we fight the mini boss of this stage right here, we have to destroy the background to make it look like something Andrew Lloyd Webber would be proud of. We have these multicolored dolls breaking through the background coming at us. We cannot damage them, but they can damage us. But they will go over go after us to wherever we once were, which also includes being in the air. So we just wait a little tick before they come at us and then adjust our position afterwards. We should be good.
Quick call out back there. That laser, the death row that Topaz talked about, we got through that like perfect. And I want to say thank you to Topaz because I think he gave me good luck. He said during one of his runs, he got through there without having to stop. And I got that.
I gotta gas you up. That is like kudos, good sir. That is like highlight worthy. That is just, beautiful on one of the biggest stages. And you took no death during the toughest portion of the game. GG's, good sir.
Thank you.
We didn't even talk about that boss fight. All it does is just hops at you and just make clean work of that. Wow, GG's, good sir.
Thank you. Casually, that boss can be a pain, but yeah, got through it. I'm so happy. So far, this has been a really great run. And again, just shout out to Mike. If you all just really quick can take a moment, give these commentators a follow. bigbeaz, aka I'm sorry, Batbeaz, I got it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't you do it, Cypherin. Don't you do it.
His identity is the Big Bees. Big Bees. Follow him. Follow Topaz Dragoon 39. They're both just simply wonderful people, awesome people. And yeah, I'm having fun. I hope you all are having fun, and I hope you're enjoying this run. And I'll shut up now, and so I can pass it off to the awesome commentators here.
All right, so here we are in our first of 3 jetpack stages. We're flying in this orange sponge stage, I guess. I don't know what best way to describe it here. The only enemies in this stage, however, are these flying Tweedledum robots carrying these stacks of Tweedledee dolls. There are 43 of them in total. Now, this stage frustrates me. It's one of 2 stages that frustrates me the most because I cannot get through it consistently fast enough. At a time I try to strive for is around 2 minutes and 15 to 2 minutes and 20 seconds for this split. Sometimes I'm here less than that. Sometimes I'm here for over 2.5 minutes. I think my gold split is around 2 minutes flat. But there was, however, one particular run I had. I was on really good pace where I got to this stage. It was about 15 seconds into the stage and the game faded to black and transported me to the next stage. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's an easy 2-minute PB world record right there. Well, it would be if the game unfortunately did not freeze on me in the next stage.
Ooh.
So,
boo
yeah.
Game, boo.
Boo. Exactly. And
If
you want to see my reaction, you can go to the forum post on speedrun.com for this game to see it. So here we have the tea party. This stage, it's very imperative that we do not take a death in this stage because we do not have enough weapon tokens to build ourselves back up to max and then switch to the green power-up when it is said and done. If you find yourself getting pelted by these circle dolls here, they're pretty aggro for whatever reason in that section. Just stay put, fire your weapon like Cypherin did there, pick up any health, and then continue right. So hopefully, that'll be a good strat for that part of the stage. So here we're gonna try to attempt something. This can skip a good 40 to 60 seconds of of this stage right here. So move a little bit, Cypherin, and then stop. Yep, stop. Let this stack of dolls get close to you, like really close to you. Now jump over them, and then slowly inch, and then break apart. Go, keep going. Don't attack them. Just go a little bit. Keep going. Come on, where are you, teacup? Easy, easy. Yeah, now go. Now I believe, hopefully, we did the trick here. But if we did things properly, we were able to skip a checkpoint and transition phase that would otherwise waste a good 40 to 60 seconds. So if you're learning this game and you're wondering like how we're doing those things, that's a good way of doing it. Was it the most optimal way? Wait. Oh,
I got the wrong weapon. That's fine.
That's all right. We can adjust. Just makes the boss fight a little longer, which kind of is all right. Well, you'll see what I mean. But coming up, we have the Mad Hatter boss fight. It is notorious for being really difficult. The stage we're going to be fighting him in is probably visually the best looking in the game, and the soundtrack tied to it is also amazing too. Probably the best in the game, in my opinion. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off this fight moving to the second column from the left, specifically in the middle of it. We're going to fire our weapon at Hatter right here. He's going to jump down and he's going to throw stuff at us. Now, as long as we don't get knocked from the spot, we're going to let these hit us, but we're going to destroy the rabbits that come out. Ideally, what we want is we want to stay in the spot for the entire fight. Now, this hat that he's riding in has rubber banding properties to it. Now, when he ducked down that first time there, he would be moving all over the screen if we weren't in this position. But if we're here at the very beginning, he won't be doing that as much. So ideally, we'd want to use the green power up here because this hitbox is so small. But we're making adjustments here. He's going to duck down here. Going to throw some stuff at us, but we can easily dodge everything here. Also, there are pitfalls on the far edges of the screen, so don't follow them. And as long as we get his health down to 9 HP before he goes away.
Get back here. Okay.
There we are. Okay. If we did not get that, then we might be a little longer than estimate. But here we were able to destroy him. There are white rabbits dropping from the bottom there, but easy to pick them off, easy to get rid of him. GG's. And then, fun fact here, that hat he drops, if we destroy it, maybe, yeah, that is the final one-up in the game. So here we have level 4. And this stage right here is the second of 2 stages that frustrates me the most because I can't get through it consistently fast enough. A time I try to strive for is about a minute and a half here. Sometimes I'm less than that. Sometimes I'm here for over 2 minutes. I think my goal split is like a minute and 10 seconds. But there was one day I was scrolling through the retro page of Twitch and I found a streamer by the name of Juno973. He does, I don't think he speedruns games, but he does a lot of 1 credit clear of retro games. And this was one he did that day. And he got to this stage and he just stood in the beginning spot. I think that's 20 Cypherin. And he just defeated all the enemies that came on screen as they appeared, and the level eventually ended. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I did a little bit of research, and it seems like there's between 35 and 37 enemies that appear in this stage. And the checkpoints here, there's at most 8 checkpoints, but they have no set wave of enemies. So the first 20 of those enemies are kind of set in stone. So when we destroy the first 20 enemies, that is kind of our cue to go as far right as fast as we possibly can. The hopes with this is that we want to make the game spawn the enemies on the left side of the screen, and if we move fast enough, we can actually despawn those enemies. There's a little bit of a grace period. I don't know if I mentioned this before. There's a little bit of a grace period outside of what we see. I believe it's 144 pixels to where if they are past that, we just despawn everything. And that's the end of the stage right there. And that right there is kind of where I would choose Batman over Robin. Since Batman does his victory pose on the left side of the screen, when we get rid of all the enemies there, Batman will just move to the left and he'll just finish. And with Robin, since he finishes on the right side of the screen, if we aren't exactly at where one of those 8 checkpoints are, then you will lose control of Robin and he will just run to wherever the closest checkpoint is. And if you're stuck in that very first section and just didn't move at all, it's a long distance to that very first checkpoint to where you can easily get rid of all the enemies, but you'd be losing a good 10-12 seconds because Robin is just running. So here in the leopard,
Trinity would love to choose Batman every time.
Definitely, yeah. Then no one likes Robin, right? I mean,
Who that
You
Robin?
said it, not me.
Who
You
that
said it, not
Robin?
me.
there is no Robin, only Batman. Or Batbeaz, only Batbeaz. So here in this laboratory stage, it's probably the second of 2 stages where you can lose a life and you can still get a good time in this game. The transition phases that feature these ice machines and beforehand the tanks, if you destroy them, they will have a rotating weapon token in them. Now, fun fact about the weapon tokens here, and was also first featured in the backstage of Wonderland, or in level 3, I should say, is that in between the green and the red tokens, there is a gray token. And I remember getting to this part of the game when I was younger, and I was like, oh, a new weapon, I gotta try it out. But unfortunately, it wasn't a power up, it was a power down. So if you pick up that gray token, you will actually go down one stage of your weapon. So here we are at the second to last stage in the game, which is also the second to last jetpack section in the game. We have just these two enemies, these circular flying sentry drones. We have these spacesuit guys. You can either get mini hearts from them, bomb drops, you can get charge shots, and then the weapon tokens here, for the most part, is always going to be a static green token. It's almost like the game is saying, hey, you made it this far, let's just help you out finishing the game, and I'm more than happy to oblige. But with this, we have a little bit of time left before we get to the Mr. Freeze fight, so Batbeaz, I would love to hear some bat facts.
Yeah, I always like to bring help out citizens and give them what they need. It's part of the customer service that I really, really like to just put forward and build up my reputation as Batman with. So, another one that people may not know about. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, is one of the greatest Batman stories of all time, because it mainly features me. Not too much Robin, but mainly me. But aside from that, despite great reviews, the theatrical release of the movie didn't get many viewers, and this kind of led to Warner Brothers' decision to only release DCAU movies directly to video. One of the most interesting things behind it is, the facts concerning the movie's theme. The theme consists of choral chanting that many would assume to be Latin, but actually, it's the name of the orchestrators sung backwards. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty interesting. So here we are with the final fight of the game. We have Mr. Freeze. He's flying around in this snow globe Dr. Wily flying machine. I don't know. It's very unique looking, but the very first phase, we have to destroy the glass surrounding him, which happens at 68 HP. After he gets to the left side of the screen, he'll call in these sentry drones that have a very short radius with their ice blast. Once the glass is destroyed, he's going to bring in one more sentry drone with a very large radius with his ice blast. Now, the idea here is to keep one of the first two he calls in alive for the entire fight. You see, Mr. Freeze is just chilling on the right side of the screen. Now, normally what he would do in this next phase is he would go from the right to the bottom to the left to the top of the screen, firing a gun with a massive spread shot, and we would just have to go in between the shot, try to damage Mr. Freeze as much as possible. But he won't go into that phase unless if we keep one of these sentry drones alive. So if we keep one of the weaker ones, we can easily just pelt Mr. Freeze without any trouble whatsoever. Now, depending on how difficult or how agreeable this sentry drone is going to be, we can make quick work of this phase. And this final phase here, Mr. Freeze is just hanging from the bottom. Those ice blasts there, if we get hit by it, it'll draw us to the ship, doing a lot of damage. But that is it. So time will come up on the blackout, which is relatively 11 seconds after the HP hits 0, and time. GG, Cypherin.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was a no-death run, too. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm curious what the time was. Like, that was very good. Very good. My PB is like a 49.15, so...
I think you got yourself a new PB, good sir. Nicely done.
Let's give it up in chat.
Woo!
For the PB by Cypherin, the most amazing speedrunner that showcases how awesome I am.
I almost revealed your identity again. Batbeaz is absolutely amazing. Oh, yeah. I'll try to keep this brief since I took up the beginning quite a bit. But yeah, please follow my commentators. Sorry, bigbeaz, who's also got runs coming up within the GDQ Juneteenth event here. So make sure you stick around for that. I'll be in chat with you all, cheering him on. Also, Topaz Dragoon, again, thank you so much for helping me today. Because as you already know, with how good you are in this game, how difficult it can be, I like to play difficult games. I like to show them off to everybody. And at the same time, just to pay it forward, I like to show you all can do this too. If there's anybody out there watching right now and you're like, hey, man, that's rough and tough, we all, we take time, we put time into these games that we love, and just there's like a love-hate relationship. You just play them over and over again, and somehow you get good, or you get better, and just like with anything. So join us in growing this event and all these events that we have, with Pleasantly Twisted leading the way, and also for people out there doing their own thing. I like to also always mention who inspired me, like Big John, Trihex. Big John also doing his things with Black Speed, Dark Spine Sonic, who great in all things 3D Sonic, and also quick shout outs to Retro Gaming Live TV streaming group that I'm part of, as well as the Sega crew. Gotta give shout outs to the Sega crew, Booster Shane, No Diggity, Paul Saltine, all of you out there. I love you all. And then last but not least, my family, who I think are watching. Thank you for I'm sure you all were cheering me on. My family, my friends, and to my two nephews, Eric and Zachary, I love you always. And that'll conclude it. At least for me, really quick. Topaz, Beaz, you want to say anything, and then we'll go from there.
Well, thank you for having me, Cypherin. It was always a pleasure seeing this game get showcased, and I'm glad that you were the one to do it. If anybody else wants to try to learn this game, I'm more than happy to share any kind of notes that I have. So you can shoot me a whisper on Twitch, you can shoot me a DM on Discord. I'm more than happy to get plenty of people on the leaderboard. So thanks again to GDQ. This is my first time doing anything with GDQ, and it was definitely a pleasure. And again, huge shout outs to the Sega crew. If you like Sega, come join us. We're a pretty cool group of boys and girls in there.
Thank you so much. Go ahead,
no,
Bat Beaz.
It's fine. It's
Go
fine.
ahead.
I was just going to tell everybody. I mean, you already know me. I'm Bat Beaz. You can find me. Wait a minute. Take it. Need it. Keep going.
What? I missed it. Oh. All right. Hey, everyone. Sorry. I was tied up until he ran off.
Was he beating you up? Was he beating you up, Big Beaz? Was Bat Beaz beating you up?
Let me just tell you, he hit me with a 2-piece and a biscuit, and I wasn't happy about it. All right, but he caught me with a sucker punch. I think I can take him on a one-on-one if I had enough time to prep. But anyway, thank you for having me, everyone, even though I ain't get to do much. But Cypherin, way to go on the Deathless PB, like a beast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy. I'm especially happy to be here supporting this wonderful man, because I probably would not be part of Juneteenth if it wasn't for him and Roads of Silence convincing me to do to start working on the bigbeaz beat 'em up block. So thank you, I appreciate it. And if y'all ain't following Cypherin, preach yourself. Preach yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Cypherin, you did such an incredible job. Congratulations, GG on everything. Big
Thank you,
Beaz,
Ash.
Topaz Dragon. Oh my God, y'all crushed it. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for being a part of the Juneteenth show.
Always glad, and I look forward to even more. And stick around. We got more awesome stuff coming your way.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a small break, everyone, and we're going to set up for the next run, which is going to be amazing. I can't wait. It's going to be Elevator Action Returns, Jad Any Percent by Ryudo. That's going to be so cool to watch. I really love this game. So, if you're watching, this is our Juneteenth marathon. And if you want to follow what Games Done Quick is up to, use exclamation link in the Twitch chat for all things GDQ. And don't forget to follow us. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. So we're going to take a short break and we'll see you in a few minutes, everyone.